I'm so excited to share this technique because it really is my all-time favorite. So I learned this from one of my main mentors, Norman Allard, who's based in Boulder, who just pretty much came up with this technique on his own back in the early 90s. He was at the time really struggling with anxiety and insomnia, and he was getting on a plane to go to Hawaii with his family and was having such horrible anxiety that he almost didn't get on the plane. But he ended up going, and he said out of nowhere he randomly just stuck his thumb in this spot right here. And he just kept it there for the entire plane ride and said it completely calmed down all of his anxiety and just shifted how he felt completely. And so Norm's been teaching breath work for decades, along with really in-depth study of chiropractic, body work, Iyengar yoga, qigong. So he's very well studied, and I respect him deeply. And he swears by this technique. Using these bottle techniques are really the foundation of what he teaches, because he's seen it help so many people, and he was able to cure his own insomnia. And so he's seen people cure their migraines with this. And not only will it benefit that, but this is hands down the best technique I've ever come across for sleep. For me, it works literally 100% of the time. I try to do it every night, and it usually doesn't take more than, I would say, 3 minutes. And so the foundation of pretty much all of the techniques and practices that Norman has taught me has a foundation in coherent breathing. And so I'll talk a lot more about what coherent breathing is in my 6-week series. And I'll be showing you a lot more practices where we use that pattern. But just a few things about it. They have found that it is when we breathe at 6 breaths per minute, what happens is the electromagnetic energies and really all the different energies in our body start to come into coherence. Especially the brain waves come into coherence with the electromagnetic field of our heart, which they've measured to be at least 1,000 times more powerful than the field coming from our brain. So you can imagine what that does for manifestation, and also tapping into our body's innate healing system. So our body knows how to heal, but we need to be in that resonance to be able to tap into these powers that are within us. And the breath is also one of the most balancing breaths to the nervous system, which is so important when you are trying to make your way out of chronic pain. And we'll also be working with the vagus nerve. So there's a lot of incredible research coming out about the vagus nerve. You can think of it as the superhighway from our gut to our brain. And so our gut is where our emotions live. It's where our intuition is. And so our gut is essentially our second brain, is what a lot of people refer to it as. And so it is constantly sending messages to our brain on our internal state, in the state of if there's any threat in the area, what it's communicating to our nervous system. And so the vagus nerve, there's a term called vagal tone. And so you can think of it just like working out a muscle, except this is a nerve that we're essentially just sending energy to and bringing more life into it. And so it is a main nerve in our parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and digest part of our autonomic nervous system. And it essentially is the foundation for all of the processes in our body that are involuntary. So breathing, digestion, sleep, orgasms, so many things. So when you start to work with this nerve, really powerful shifts can happen. And this is also a place where I would say most people are blocked in terms of the breath. This is a spot where we hold on to a lot of emotions. And it also is where our diaphragm is, right at the bottom of our ribs. And so this muscle can get tight, and we have a lot of tension here. And our posture these days is really constricting this area. And so that's going to help to open it up, release tension, toning this nerve, the vagus nerve. And it's just so incredible how calm you feel after doing it for literally even 1 minute. And what I also love about it is how practical it is. So I guess I'll just start to show you how it works. So all you need is a bottle, a water bottle, or anything that has this size cap. And if you feel where your sternum is, where those two bottom ribs come together, we're going to go in that soft spot right beneath it, and just a hair to the left. And so you can just place the bottle in there and place your palms on the end. It's very important that you have your hands relaxed. Our hands are a bridge to the autonomic nervous system. And so when our hands are tense, that is going to signal to the nervous system that we're tense, we're not relaxed, we're in a stressful situation. So really keeping the hands relaxed. And so you don't want to have your fingers on it like this. Palm on the bottle with another palm right above. And so even just holding this spot. So when Norm did this on the plane, he wasn't doing the breathing pattern. That didn't come till a little later when he started combining all these different breathwork practices with this bottle technique. So just holding it there has incredible effects. So I do this if I'm riding in the car, if I'm watching a movie, just as much as I can. So it can be really helpful to have a water bottle that works for this, because then you can just hang out and do it anywhere. So the breath pattern is, so first I want to say, whenever you're doing any breathwork practice, it's crucial that you are relaxed. We need to be in our parasympathetic, relaxed state to be able to tune into our body's healing system and to make these shifts. So we'll work our way towards a 5-1-5-1 count, and that's a 5-second inhale, 1 second pause, 5-second exhale, 1 second pause. But we're going to start just with 4-1-4-1. And if that feels too much, just go down to a 3. If it feels really easy, go up to a 5. But I would say practice at 4 for a little bit. This breath seems very simple, but it's actually, in my opinion, one of the most advanced breathwork techniques out there, because we're going to be breathing as slow and gently as you possibly can. And so this really helps to balance the nervous system. And so you can imagine that there's little feathers hanging from your nostrils, and we're going to try to not ruffle those at all. Or you can think of, the difference, the time is the same, but the rate at which the breath is moving is, you can essentially always slow it down. And so since it's so gentle, ideally you can't hear it, and it's not that ujjayi breath that you do in yoga where, it's audible and it's deep. This is not about taking in more oxygen. It's about slowing it down, which will allow your body to absorb more oxygen than you would if you were breathing deeper. All right, so I will take us through a few rounds, and then you can just keep going on your own. So I guess I'll just tell you a few more things before we start, so I can just let you continue on your own. Definitely when you're starting out, try this before you go to sleep, because it's just so incredible. So I recommend a great position is just kind of at a 45-degree angle. And I also like to have a pillow on either side so your arms can relax, but not necessary. And And this is how I sit in bed before I go to sleep. Or on the couch is great. I don't recommend doing it lying down. You can though. And of course sitting up is great too. Alright, so let's do a few rounds. So sitting up relatively straight, not straining. And we'll have a relaxed exhale, gentle inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause, exhale through the nose, 3, 4. Pause, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Continue the breath on your own. It's much more important to stay relaxed and easy on yourself instead of doing the count perfectly. So I'll let you continue that on your own and reach out with any questions.